Hello, my name is Briley, and today I'm going to be reviewing Tim Burton's 2012 movie, Frankenweenie. I'm going to be going briefly over the description of the movie, my analysis, interpretation, and my judgment of the movie. In case you have not seen the movie, I'm going to include a short trailer clip of the movie right now.
He was a great dog, a great friend.
The best dog a kid could have.
When you lose someone you love, they never really leave you. They just move into a special place in your heart.
I don't want him in my heart. I want him here with me.
I know. If we could bring him back, we would.
I'm sorry, boy.
Sparky! I can't believe it! Your dog is alive!
Sparky, shh. Easy, boy. I can fix that.
Okay, so the movie is centered around the life of young Victor Frankenstein, who lives with his parents in the fictional town of New Holland in America during the 1960s. Victor is a shy and reserved child, however, he's creative and very interested in science. One day, after coming home from school and learning about the upcoming science fair, Victor asks his dad to sign his permission slip, but his father says that he will only do it if Victor plays baseball and makes some friends. Reluctantly, Victor agrees, but tragically, while at the game, Sparky runs into the road and is hit by a car. Inspired by his new science teacher, Mr. Rice-Krusky, in the science fair, Victor decides to bring his best friend back from the dead, Frankenstein style. Victor succeeds and is thrilled to have Sparky back despite his appearance and decides to keep Sparky a secret. One day, while at school, Sparky escapes and is seen by one of Victor's classmates, Edgar, who blackmails him in hopes of becoming his science fair partner. After Victor shows him exactly how he brought Sparky back from the dead, Edgar shares the secret with the rest of the classmates, who also want first place at the science fair. The kids then decide to recreate Victor's experiment on their own dead pets. This backfires as the pets are transformed into monsters who are determined to destroy the town of New Holland. Luckily, Victor can utilize his knowledge of science to defeat the monsters and restore the town to somewhat normalcy. I think that Burton does a great job at making a modernized rendition of Mary Shelley's novel Frankenstein. He alters the story in a creative way that results in a heart-touching movie. The movie's characters, as well as the graphic design, are perfectly Tim Burton, from the characters' large heads and skinny limbs coupled with their insanely large eyes, to the dark colors that are typical of Burton's animations. Tim Burton also decided to make this movie entirely black and white, which is somewhat nostalgic and reminiscent of many classic horror films, such as the 1931 Frankenstein film starring Boris Karloff. He also references different versions of Frankenstein throughout the movie, like giving Toshiaki's pet turtle the name Shelley, which is a tribute to Mary Shelley. Victor's classmate Nassauer also resembles Frankenstein himself, and Edgar can be compared to Igor, Frankenstein's hunchbacked assistant. There is also a nod to the Bride of Frankenstein when Victor's neighbor's dog Persephone is electrocuted by Sparky and receives a white streak of hair. Burton also attributes other classic horror movies in the film. Dracula is referenced multiple times. Victor's neighbor, Elsa Van Helsing, shares the last name with Dracula's enemy, vampire hunter Abraham Van Helsing. Mr. Rajkruski, the science teacher, has a heavy Eastern European accent similarly to Dracula, and in one scene of the movie, Victor's parents can be seen watching the live-action Dracula on the family TV. After Toshiaki's pet Shelly is revived, she turns into a giant turtle who resembles the reptilian monster Gamera from a Japanese horror film released in 1965. There are also some hints to others of Burton's films. Victor Frankenstein's personality is like that of Edward Scissorhands, the main character of Tim Burton's 1990 film Edward Scissorhands. On top of this, Weird Girl also looks like Kim Boggs from the same movie. He also references his 1988 film Beetlejuice. Elsa Van Helsing is exactly like Lydia Deetz from the appearance to their personalities. They are even both voiced by Winona Ryder. Tim Burton's most recent work, Wednesday, inspired by the Addams Family, is another movie in which Tim Burton retells a familiar story. I think that in this movie, Tim Burton illustrates the differences between life and death as well as the limits of science. It's evident throughout the movie that the best solution would have been to not use science to tamper with the dead. However, I think that Mr. Rajkruski said it best himself when he told Victor that science is neither good nor bad. I believe that the reason Burton hinted to all these other movies is because they all deal with similar issues, the balance between life and death, and the negative impacts that science can have when combined with life and death. This is especially relevant today where science seems like it can do literally anything. The movie demonstrates that while science can do amazing things, it can also do horrific things. I also think that Burton does a good job at adding humor throughout the movie and turning such a serious topic into something that can be enjoyed and understood by children. CNN describes it as different than Burton's other recent movies because there is a direct emotional connection. Overall, while others may say that the movie can be boring and repetitive, I recommend that everybody at least see the movie once. It's a beautifully made movie in which Tim Burton put his all. While not as popular as other of Burton's works, I think that it is one of the most meaningful ones. It is a perfect tribute to the original Frankenstein, which revolutionized the horror genre. If you are a fan of Tim Burton or horror movies, I think this is a great way to enjoy both in a family-friendly manner. Alright, that's all for today, and thank you for joining me for my review of Tim Burton's Frankenweenie. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you can get something out of that. And with that, that's all.